It's Patrick Beatty Reviews, the #1 for news. It's Patrick Beatty Reviews, #1 for news. Yeah. Tune in, get up. Yeah, what's up?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Hello,
oh my
everybody.
Gosh, I see a Pokemon over there.
And welcome to a panel that is very special and dear to my heart. This is Toy Stories, Why Toys and Imagination Make Good Friends. My name is Patrick Gibbs. I'm a filmmaker and a film critic for TheBeardedTrio.com and Talking Pictures. And I'm going to be your moderator today, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the toys that are near and dear to us, that have been a part of who we are and since we were little, and have been our friends throughout life. Let's go ahead and introduce our panelists.
Hi, I'm September C. Fox. I'm a writer and editor, so I get paid to read books, and I love it. And yeah, I guess that's me. I don't know. I love toys. Yeah.
I'm Tracy Mangum, local filmmaker, film critic, and podcaster among the movies that make us podcast.
So you got Patrick's to the left and Patrick's to the right of you.
We're surrounded by that.
Yeah, I've
Patrick
already
sandwich.
been confused.
Patrick Beatty from Patrick Beatty Reviews. I'm a film critic also and host of Gaggle of Geeks podcast.
Yeah, in fact, it's totally irrelevant, but every once in a while when I'm sending on Facebook, when I find something that I want to write down and remember it, I'll send something to myself through Messenger. And a couple of times I think I've sent it to you.
Really? That's amazing.
Patrick. One of you guys can be right
I don't know if I respond.
Since the grocery
that man
list.
back there in the Tony Stark costume.
Oh,
I get
well
so
done.
distracted by
Oh,
these really great.
my
Well, it's a
goodness.
shiny
Take
object.
a look at Iron Man.
really
It's
shiny.
a really shiny object. so-
Shiny and chrome.
Cool. So, I think toys are something that it's a pretty universal thing. We all had toys when we were younger. It's why the Toy Story movies are so popular. We can all relate to that relationship between Andy and his toys. And for me, when I saw the first Toy Story, I saw the community of toys that Andy created and how they were part of him and how they all had such specific personalities and the codependent relationship they had. I watched that and thought, that is me. That was my childhood. I had such a huge collection of toys that each one of them had a name and a detailed story behind them. And it really captured my heart. And everyone on this panel, I think, has a toy or multiple toys that were really special to them. I'd like to ask anybody out here in the audience, do you have any specific toy that you remember was really special to you when you were young?
Go to the mic. Yeah, tell us what you.
Yeah.
So I have this little stuffed puppy. It was like a tan color, and I really loved it. I used it.
Go ahead and lift the mic up.
Maybe.
I think you can come off too if you want to just pop.
Yeah, I think it'll.
There we go.
Perfect.
So I had this stuff. So I had two special toys. So there was this toy dragon, like a little stuffed dragon. It was green with a sparkly belly and little wings and stuff. And I really loved that one. I still have it. It's on my bed with me. And I also had this little stuffed tan puppy, and it had this little tongue sticking out. And I really loved it because it took me through so much. I still have both of them. I still love both of them.
I love that.
That's terrific. Anyone else?
I have a couple actually. I have a Stacy two-wheeler that I got when I was 8, and I still have it.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear.
It's the coolest thing. My kids are it's in my curio cabinet, so the kids can't play with it all the time. But I'll pull it out every once in a while, and I have to wind up the wheel because I don't want them to break it. she still rides and everything, and it's the coolest
that's
thing.
cool.
And then I have a couple stuffed animals that I still have from when I was little, and I don't know, toys are just
I love hearing that. One of the most important philosophies of my life is you are never too old for toys,
Right.
especially stuffed animals. I mean, I'm a collector. I collect a lot of collectibles now, but nothing beats stuffed animals. We're gonna go down the line and we're each gonna talk a little bit about our toys. We'll go ahead and start with Patrick down here.
So I brought a few. Kids, here's a rule. If someone tells you keep the toy in the packaging, don't listen to them because
absolutely.
they're trying to hurt you.
Enjoyment of life.
Take out your toys and play with them. I brought with me a few. Me being a kid growing up in the 90s, it was Batman and it was Star Wars, and that's that. I had this particular Michael Keaton Batman Returns Batman, and yeah, I mean, back in the day before the MCU, this is pretty much all we had. So
Right.
to have
And it's
this,
the reason we have an MCU.
absolutely. Too true. And Batman Returns is an underrated movie. Everybody should watch that one. But yeah, this
Especially
toy.
at Christmas.
Well, Michael Keaton was an underrated Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a toy that, like, I don't know. It took a long time to get. I remember growing up. It was one of those, like, I always wanted it, and it was. I had a friend that had this toy at first.
Oh,
and
that's
I kept
the
wanting
worst.
to.
Yeah,
wanting to
right?
play with the
Right? I
toy,
think
but
we
it's
all
over
know
at
that.
my friend's house, and I don't want to make my friend feel like I only want to play with the toy, but I really want to play with the toy. And after I had moved and we had gone several ways, you know, you just start looking for that one toy that you remember when you grew up. And I was lucky enough to find one, and yeah, brought it today. And these are just actual Star Wars toys from when I grew up that I played with, so they're probably covered in germs. Don't go near them.
But that's what makes them special.
Oh,
And
totally.
I mean, it's so off.
It's the discolored white that really makes R2-D2 shine.
Well, Yoda's robe's got some wear, but that makes sense.
The no lightsabers at all for Darth Vader because those things get lost immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate that you were able to bring those, and you were able to bring that Batman, and I don't think there's any reason why you need to be worried as you walk toward your car to leave that anyone is going to hit you over the head and try to take it.
You don't know what level in the parking lot I'm in.
He's got spies everywhere. Star Wars was the very first movie I remember seeing in the theater and just grew up with them. And my brother and I had like all the Star Wars toys out of the packaging, absolutely. And we'd go out in the backyard and play with them. And we had a dog, and the dog would sometimes find it and like chew Han Solo's arm off. And we'd just be like, oh, well, there was a fight with Darth Vader, and that's how he got his arm chopped off.
dog's
And
favorite toy.
you just roll with it, you know? And it was like, those were so beloved. And it's kind of funny now, you see what some of the in-package units go for, and it's just obscene. But I'm with you. I don't like the idea of keeping toys in the package. Take them out, play with them, enjoy them. That's what they're made for.
Make a story.
You know,
Yeah.
people ask me, don't you wish you had kept, if you knew what your Star Wars toys would be worth,
Yeah.
how much don't you wish you had kept them in the packages and everything? It's like, well, you know, it'd be nice to have all that money now, but
the
would I
memories-
trade that for my childhood then?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
How
not.
sad is that to have to put each individual toy on eBay and spend hours typing up a description and taking photos? Like, nah, I'm gonna play with my toys.
Yeah, absolutely. One to keep,
Yeah.
one
There
to
you
play
go.
with.
There you
That's
go.
what I like.
That's what I'm Mr. Moneybags.
All right, so this is one of my oldest toys. We talked about stuffed animals. Does anybody raise your hand if you had a stuffed animal that was like your favorite? Okay, yeah. So I got this before I was even in school. And maybe some of you guys know a lot of stuffed animals, depending on the brand, it will have their name on the tag. So his name is Fluffy, and my mom's like, you can change his name. I'm like, no way, that's his name. His name's Fluffy. So this is Fluffy. I've had him for a really long time. Took him with me on trips, took him to the dentist, and you guys have toys that you'd like take to the dentist or something. Never lost him,
comfort
thankfully. Yeah, I'm like, oh yes, Fluffy. And my best friend, her name's Mallory, she had a toy stuffed animal too. She really liked it. Was a tiger, and its name was Tiggy. And we would have like sleepovers, and I actually have pictures of us. This is me and Fluffy when I was in elementary school.
Awesome.
We had a sleepover with Fluffy and Tiggy and took pictures. And see, I was a kid, so I wasn't good at taking pictures, and I had my fingers in the lens constantly. So here's Mallory with Tiggy and my fingers all over in the picture.
But isn't that?
And I just thought that was part of the memory, you know? That's part of the memory.
Exactly.
So, and I used to have this story. I loved writing stuff when I was a kid. I'm a writer now, an editor. But I would write stories, and I'd write stories about Fluffy. And I had this story that there was this bad guy that like separated his family, and his family members were like all over the world. So it was my goal in life to like buy all of his family members whenever I saw like dogs that looked like Fluffy. I actually did buy some others. Maybe I should have brought them. And so I had this whole storyline going on over like years that I had to like reconnect his family. And so that was kind of fun. So, geez, he's over 20-something years now. And then Pokemon, do any of you guys like Pokemon? Like, yeah, dude. Okay, Pokemon, I have lots of Pokemon stuff. I was deciding what to bring. But I love these because they're like Pokeballs, you know? And you could actually put like the Pokemon in them. And I had a Mew. I was so psyched because if you guys are into Pokemon, Mew's like hard to get. And me and my friend Megan would go play like we were Pokemon trainers and like go catch Pokemon and battle and stuff. Were any of you guys, you're a Pokemon trainer, huh? I can tell. Yeah. Yeah. And I have like hundreds of old cards still, yeah. And so I wanted to bring Pokemon because I loved it when I was a kid, and it's still a cool thing today. So those are my toy stories.
I think your toys are so cool too because they still work. Like, Michael Keaton Batman doesn't work as much as, like, Pokemon is still so relevant and, like, different even. Like, it's totally different from when it was when we grew up.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So, as I talk about this toy here, I'm going to preface it by saying, I am weird. It's important to know that.
You're safe here at FanX.
You're among your people.
So, this is Moose. His full name is Moose J. Moose. He has a best friend that belongs to my twin brother, and his best friend's name is Aardvark. Moose turns 30 years old this Christmas.
Aww.
It does. It gives you a lot. Now,
that's cool.
It is very cool. Part of the reason why I preface the fact that I'm weird is that I turned 44 in November. But I always have, since I was little, my brother and I collected stuffed monkeys. It was our thing. And at Christmas of '89, we got Moose and Aardvark. And in Christmas of '83, I got the best Christmas present ever, which was my little sister Becca. And Becca was only 4 or 5 years old in Christmas of '89, and so she was a little toddler and different. She was younger than the rest of the family, and she had a bit of a harder time relating to people, and a different dynamic from the rest of us because all 4 siblings were older, and Moose and Aardvark really became Becca's best friends when she was little, and it brought out my relationship with my sister through Moose, made me a better person. And on the front row right here, I'm gonna cry, is Becca's little girl, Kaylee, who is now 12, who I moved in to help raise her, and Moose and Kaylee became best friends.
Oh.
So there's a lot of history with this guy, and he's lived an interesting life. He actually ran for governor at one point. He had quite a following on social media. He was interviewed on a talk show a radio show on KSL, the Nightside Project, because his campaign just started taking off. Eventually, I think it was actually because of the trouble he was making with FanX, that somebody reported him, and his Facebook profile got deleted.
Oh.
Poor guy.
But then, I think it was 5-6 years ago, I was headed out to Becca's house as she ran a daycare, and Moose and I worked with her. And I realized as I was on the tracks train that I didn't have Moose. He was gone. And that was, to say that was distressing to me is an understatement. To say it was distressing to my sister is a gigantic understatement. The lengths that she went to get Moose back, every bus stop from Redwood Road to Draper had "Have you seen this toy?" posters plastered all over it. She drove everywhere looking for him. We walked along the side of the road. She was obsessed. We found him. He got turned into the Lost and Found at UTA, and we were reunited with him. But I'll never forget, a couple weeks, it was maybe like a week after that, I walked into McDonald's with Kaylee and her brother, Carson, and I'm carrying Moose, and we walk in, and the woman behind the counter goes, "Is that Moose?" Because the posters were that plastered around
That's
everywhere.
awesome.
She's like, you better return that right now.
Yeah.
There's somebody looking for that monkey.
But yeah, so he's old, he has to wear clothes now because he's falling apart so much, and Aardvark's falling apart even more than he is, but Moose is very near and dear to not only me, but my whole family, and his favorite person in the world is right out there.
Good cat.
And then you just throw them? I'm just,
That's what's great about stuffed animals, though.
Oh, yeah.
They
This
still
thing
love
would-
you even
see,
when you throw them.
That's the difference. I wouldn't have known that. This just would have broken.
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
So now I'm gonna move on to a little, I'm sorry, did you, go ahead.
So I just remember that I had this little, like, toucan toy that I've had since I was like 1 or 2. And I don't have it anymore, I lost it. And when I lost it, I was so sad.
Oh, yeah. I hated
Absolutely.
losing my favorite toys, yeah.
I remember when
You're just heartbroken.
like when I was making my Christmases, I asked for him, and his name was Lolo. So I was a little toucan. I didn't get him back, but I got him. It's not the same, but I still love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great. When you grow up, you can just go buy it. It's the miracle of adulthood.
Right.
Oh, I can
Well,
go
and
find that.
eBay. Man, before eBay, like if you wanted a specific toy, if it was in high demand, it was so
Oh,
hard to
yeah.
find.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding. Like I still remember the day
Thank
that
goodness for the internet.
1983 when I wanted that black costume Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi action figure, and my mom went around all over Utah looking for that for me, and it ended up finally tracked it down to the store that was like 3 minutes away. But so to shift gears a bit, I wasn't planning on going in this direction, but Patrick's toys made me think of a story. Could you share maybe the worst toy you were ever given, or you ever remember seeing?
Oh, why did I already have one like suddenly come in? It's like it's been affecting me for years and I don't realize it. So there was this R2-D2 cassette tape deck, and it was a full R2-D2, like an actually like fully articulating, did the
Wow.
noises, did everything. And the little like slots here, I think, is where you can put in the tape deck. And then these were the buttons to like control how it worked. I took it out of the box Christmas morning, put one thing in, the reel from the tape shot out, the thing smoked up, and I did not get another one. But that's okay, because sometimes we have to test. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
So that would be my worst probably, because it's the one I can remember being the worst.
I had a dog leash, but it was made out of wire, and it had like a little dip, and then it went up, and I had a little collar.
A ghost dog.
Invisible dog.
I had one of those,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, my parents didn't want to get us an actual dog, so I got an invisible dog for Christmas.
But you know what's great about those is you can take your stuffed animal and put it.
See, I never
through
thought
the
of that. I
collar.
should have. I was just like, okay, it's my invisible dog.
You know what you should have done?
That's
Is just
imagination.
like,
Yeah.
don't ask me how you go about this, but just like leave, just like poop around the house in weird places. It's the invisible dog.
Well, whenever you made
My
like
parents
a
would have been
mess,
like, then you need to clean up after your invisible
Oh,
dog.
Teachers would
probably
hate you.
true.
They'd be like, it's my dog. You're like, but your parents say you don't have one.
My invisible dog ate my
What's wrong
homework.
with you, kid?
Let's see. I'm gonna say when I was in elementary school, Tamagotchis got really big. Do you guys know what Tamagotchi, like, or Gigapets? Okay. Okay, so it's like, so Tamagotchi, the American version was a Gigapet, but it was like the same thing. So it's just this little thing, and it's a little virtual pet you have to take care of. Back in the day, it's a little different now. Back in the day, you couldn't push pause on it.
Right.
And I had to go to school and stuff, you know. And I wanted this puppy one, of course, so bad. Finally, earned enough money from my parents to buy it. And it ended up being the worst experience for me, okay? Like,
So much
I
work.
was like a super responsible kid, and like I loved animals, and it kept dying, and I would be like crying. And my mom's like, it's just a virtual pet. I'm like, it's not to me. I'm like, I can't even take care of an animal. How am I ever gonna be an adult? And like, I honestly like worried about that. It got to the point where like I had to my parents had to get rid of it. And like I got like anxiety whenever I saw somebody with one, because I was like, oh no. And like at one point, it was like my friend, she had a whole bunch of them. I don't even know why you would do that to yourself, but she had a whole bunch of them. She actually paid her mom to take care of them while she was at school. She had like 5 or 6. But even like when I'd see her mom with one, I'd be like, have anxiety, and I'm like, I can't look at this. Like, I never want to see these again.
So it was like
And-
mom deducting from her allowance?
Yeah. Like she literally paid her mom to take care of these. But I was jealous because her dad did business in Japan, and she had a Pikachu Tamagotchi. Obviously, I liked Pokemon, and I was
Right.
like, oh, no fair. But then later I knew better, because that would have been even awful if I killed
Killed one.
Pikachu over and over again.
Did you have a name for yours? What was?
I'm sure I named, well, I had a million because I kept
I was
dying.
gonna say names.
Sure. But I have since overcome this block in my life, and I got a Tamagotchi as a senior in high school. Me and my friend got them just for fun. And I finally was able to move past that psychologically. Mainly because you could put pause on them. But I will still say, to this day, because you can download an app on your phone and do it, to this day I have never kept one alive through its whole life cycle. I don't even know. And I've owned like 1 million pets, but I just cannot keep a Tamagotchi alive. So.
That's amazing. Well, so I have to just slightly backtrack and be clear. I was not dissing your toys when I said your toys inspired this up.
I don't
me to
think
think about this. About Wars toys. It's just Star Wars toys. So when I was like 7 years old, my older brother's friend came over, and he was showing off, and this was in 1982, I think. He was showing off this amazing new toy that his dad got him through the connections that his dad had, because his dad, he was hooked in everywhere. Darth Vader's brother, who apparently was going to appear in the next movie,
Oh.
he got the first one, and he's just bragging this up as this amazing, and it was just this really awful generic knockoff of Darth Vader. But his dad had fed him this whole line about how this is Darth Vader's brother that's going to be in the next movie.
I was like getting really confused.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened to that storyline?
Right.
How did that work out?
To this day, it's a family joke. It's like, so, is Darth Vader's brother going to show up in this one?
I'm officially calling him Garth.
Darth Vader.
No, yeah, but those toys knockoffs, like I
Yeah.
remember like knockoff Pikachus, and it would be like a squirrel or something, but it had all the same markings, and I'm like, nobody wants that. Like I
Or
don't
like
know.
Pikachu with 5 eyes in the name.
My brother worked at a toy outlet store, and they would get all of those knockoff toys, and he was like, we're like the island of misfit toys. Nobody wants these. People would come in and buy like one, and the kids were like, oh, no.
The toys were fun were the toys that like just served absolutely no purpose but looked really cool.
Yeah.
So you were just like they were always there, but like anytime you wanted to get all of your toys together to start mashing, like there's really no place for that one. You're like, cool. Stay there. No
I don't
worries.
know how to play with this toy.
Still cool, buddy.
We're about out of time, but I did want to just go down the line and ask everybody to tell me if you could sum up what toys mean to you personally and have meant to you in your life in just one word. What would that word be?
And one word?
One word.
One word.
Okay.
I'm gonna say comfort.
That's a good word. Enjoyable.
I'm gonna go with creativity.
I like that too.
Those are all great ones. I have a hard time limiting myself to one, but
Oh, you can't give us just one.
no, I know. I'm not going to quit. Yeah, all of
I'm the
those.
moderator. I'll do what I want.
But and those were all that were of the ones I'm thinking. But as I just go by pure instinct, I'm going to go with safety.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about anybody else out here? Any final thoughts on toys? In one word.
Yeah, you wanna come up
Can I have 2 words?
You can have 2 words.
What is your name too? You've come up a few times. We've not even.
Yeah. And do you have a mouth?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, going up to the.
And then I want to hear
I
from the
probably have to
Pokemon
say, like,
trainer.
memories and best friends.
Ooh, those are good ones. Yes.
Did you have a question
wanna
in the
come up?
front?
We could bring the mic to him.
You can do more than one word if you want.
Yeah, just bring the mic
Yeah,
up.
it's fine.
You can have as many words as you want.
Perfect.
I'm a writer. I'm an editor. I'll let you use as many words as you want.
It is 1 word.
You can use as many words as you want. Do you want to? You don't have to say. If you don't.
I just want to know what you were thinking.
Lots of words. It's okay.
No.
No?
The
Okay.
word she wanted to say was stories.
Oh, that's
yes.
great.
See, we're on the same brainwave.
Well done.
That's a great one.
Well done.
Not only the stories we have about our toys, but the stories we make up with our toys. My toys have been places and done things that I will never do in my life. In some cases, it's probably a good thing, but in other cases, I envy them. But yeah, there's no limit. Absolutely. But if you can pull down your mask so we can all hear you. Yeah.
So I love to keep my old toys, and I also like to get new ones because to me they're more memories. They like keeping memories. Sometimes I just like search through my bucket of plushies and just I find this one, and then I just get so many memories from it, like coming back to me. Which is why I don't like when my mom would make me give them to the
Yes, I hated that. My mom would be like, "Hey, you gotta get stuff to the." I'm like, "No," I'd be like bawling.
Almost every Christmas, my mom would make me give stuff away. I'm like, why?
Yeah, that's so hard. And you know, in defense of your mom, I get it's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing to teach giving and sharing and all that. But I get it from that perspective, but I always think of it in terms of, okay, Mom, what if somebody said, okay, it's going to be around Christmas. Can you give away one of your kids to DI? That's what it's
Well,
like.
if you can keep your favorites, maybe you can.
Right.
Remember that when I was talking about that toy in the corner that you didn't
Yeah. Yeah. The knockoff toys too, if you have to.
But I totally get, to this day, I will come across an old toy that I haven't thought about forever, and the memories will, I'll just start
Instantly.
crying because the memories just hit me so hard.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to add? All right, well, I'd like to thank you all so much for coming, and we'll just go back down again and say who you are.
Yeah, Patrick from Patrick Beatty Reviews. You can find me and actually two of these fine people at the Galaxy Quest panel tomorrow.
Nice. Yes.
Covering the 20-year anniversary.
Forget Tom Holland, come see that.
Yeah, we know what's really important. Yeah.
Tom Holland, yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm Tracy. I'm on the Movies That Make Us podcast. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast.
September C. Fox. I'm on a lot of the Harry Potter panels, so if you like Harry Potter, let's be friends and come to my panels.
And I'm Patrick Gibbs, and you can see me. Anybody here who is actually here at 8 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be doing, really excited about this, a panel called From Sugarland Express to Ready Player One,
Yes.
45 years of Spielberg. It's going to be like the geek high point of my life. So,
This is what we've been building up for.
yes. All right, well, thank you so much for coming and for sharing your toys and your memories with us.
Thanks, you guys.
Have a great FanX.
All right, 1, 2, 3, cheese! Perfect. There you go.
Thanks, man.
No problem.